2 weeks off, but during this 2 weeks, like I don't really look for Mandela effects anymore. I think everybody has got the point that yeah, things have changed, but I think we're all at a stalemate now, and I don't know. I'm noticing a trend in all the channels where we've all calmed down. But there was a video that came out not too long ago. It was by Affected Collective, and it was called Retro Causality Cern, and I said it in the video earlier, and I won't play the video, but it's here, and yeah, we all do need a break sometimes. Oh, and just to remind everybody that there's a huge delay between trade chat. There I go again. Between trade chat and me and you talking, so we're not gonna have this fluent conversation going. So bear with me. But basically, she put out a video called Retro Causality on Cern 1980, and man, it made me really think about the technology we have in this world again. I've always had a problem with if I don't see it, it doesn't exist. This thing is underground. I've just always had this huge beef with Cern. I'm just like, man, all of a sudden it popped out of nowhere. All of a sudden there's a Cern. But here's the thing with Cern, is that it's always been called Cern, but they refer to it as LEP a lot, you know. LEP Cern. And this is the Large Electron Positron Collider. And, you know, that bothered me. Because I'm like, well, I definitely don't know enough about computers to know about Cern back in the day. I definitely don't know enough to know about what LEP meant back in the day. So if they threw that out in the news nonchalantly, I'm just like, I wouldn't even know. Same with Cern, basically. But to everybody, I got a lot of feedback on that video I put out. I'm like, did we ever consider this? And a lot of people who worked in computers said the same thing, that I've never heard of CERN either, and I've been in computers for 30 years. Well, I'm like, well, did you hear of the LEP or anything like that? LHIC? There are so many abbreviations for these colliders, and maybe they just didn't say CERN. So I'm watching this video that she put out. It was brilliant. You know, it was well put together, and I'm seeing videos from the 80s of this machine being put together, and I'm like, oh no, because you know, I was a big believer on it not existing at all, and now I'm looking at all these videos and I'm like, how is this possible? Because I remember a year ago, or a year and a bit ago, whatever, even less than a year ago, typing in CERN being built, videos of CERN, yada yada yada, and I couldn't find anything. But again, my researching skills are very minimal. But this lady did a great job, you know. Amazing at finding all these videos, piecing it all together. And after I viewed it, I was like, oh my god, I really have to reconsider my position on CERN. Now, before I go any further, my position on CERN may change, but I'm not going to push that CERN is causing the Mandela effect. I still don't know enough about it, and I still don't feel that. So I'm watching this video and I'm like, man, this CERN machine must really exist then. And then boom, this thing popped in my head, 9/11, right? So we're gonna go through this together, because that's how I roll. I do everything freestyle. I'll give a big shout out. Seeing a lot of people saying hello. Hello, Tony. Bonjour. Hello, Annie. Annie O from Kelowna, BC. I have family out there. There, Kelowna, and in Agassiz, I believe it's called. Hello, Jenny. Hello, Jose. Trade chat. Yes, trade chat. Barbara Joy from Colorado. Good evening. But thanks for the shout out, guys. Thank you so very much. So basically, I'll get right into this now. Judy Wood. So I was watching this video, right? Great job, Affected Collective. If I knew your name, I'd be saying your name. And then boom, this lady pops in my head. Judy Wood. Now, if you really did research 9/11, you would know who this lady is. Okay. Her and John Hutchinson, I don't know if they're a couple. I know they're really good friends, but they study direct energy, and I remember watching this stuff, and I was just blown away by what was presented by this lady, and I was just astonished. And I loved her position, because everybody tried to pin it on her. They're like, hey, so you think this was a terrorist attack? She's like, listen, I'm not saying anything. I'm just showing you things, and that's it. You guys could come up with your own conclusion. And I love that approach. So she never tied herself in anything. If you don't know who she is, I highly suggest you go look her up, okay? But basically, she teams up with John Hutchinson. I'm not saying she wrote a book called Where Did the Towers Go? Okay, and I didn't read it, but I just watched all her stuff. And basically, John Hutchinson, if you guys don't know who he is, I'll just type up his name right here real quick. John Hutchinson. This guy basically, I don't know the proper terms, so I don't want to mess it all up, but he's a genius with machines and technology, and he knows how to, iron bar. Yeah, this guy right here. He basically would buy machines off the military, the army, whatever, whoever, and bring them home. And then he would turn them on, and then he would do this to an iron bar. This is an iron bar. It's crazy. So she does this book called Where Did the Towers Go? Because in this book, her main focus is the steel bars, like all the beams. If you really did research 9/11, you would know that after the rubble, there should have been like 40, 50 stories of steel beams and concrete and everything, but there wasn't. Okay? There wasn't. You could almost, in some parts of these, of Ground Zero, you could see right through it. And you shouldn't be able to. So, and then a lot of people are like, well, there's a big hole in the ground. It all felt, no. Something happened to these beams. You know what I mean? Something happened with the smoke on the way down. Here, I'll show you. I'm not saying it properly, but we've all seen this. If you've studied 9/11, here, let me go to Judy Wood, 9/11 beams falling. Basically, the beams are turning into dust as they fall. And they're doing it in midair. And there should just be huge amounts of steel columns, and they're just not. And in this photo, this is like one of the best videos I've seen for it being described. Right around here, look at all the debris. It's all turning to smoke. Like right here, I'll just stop it. That's all smoke coming from a beam. People are like, oh, that's dust and fire. I'm like, no, this is like 100 feet. By the time this piece reaches the ground, it's just a tiny piece of metal. Okay? It's called direct energy weapons. And that's what you see in here with this iron bar. He had a cheap machine. He brought it home at the government, that he bought from the government. And he did this to an iron bar with his little machines that you see in the background. Imagine the technology they have since they sold him that, and what happened on 9/11. And that's what they're talking about in here. Look at this beam that's circled here. You can just see it being set on fire. Well, not set on fire, but something's happening to it. It's getting smaller and smaller. Look, it's disappearing. You can't even see it anymore. There's no thick beam. It's just smoke now. Same with up here. And so basically, oh, there's another one. It's called the Spire. And I'll read the comments in a sec. I just got to get through this here. I can't read and do all this. This is my favorite. If you guys haven't seen this, watch this part. And I'm going to tie it in with Cern in a minute, so just hang in there. It's not just a 9/11 video. So this is called the Spire. Okay. This is just for people who haven't seen it or don't know about it. So basically we've got this spire, it's this tall, this is about 700 feet, and it's gonna fall straight down. But how can it fall straight down, guys? How? It can't. It's impossible. It can't fall straight down. Okay, the physics, unless there's a 700-foot hole for it to fall straight down into, okay? I'll only play this once or twice. You guys can watch this later. But this beam just starts to disappear. It turns to smoke. Like right there, you see it just turns to smoke. You don't see the rest, but it's down there. I can't play that video too much, or YouTube will own my video. But so I'm watching Affected Collective's video, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, man, does Cern really exist? And then boom, Judy Wood. Boom, John Hutchinson. Boom, all these. This technology is something we've never seen before, and I do believe that another weapon was used. You're talking about thermite, you're talking about controlled demolition, you're talking about holographic planes, small nukes, but never once has direct energy ever been talked about, when you can clearly see something's happening to the beams here. Something's melting these beams, and you know, she calls it dustification. Okay. And you can see the beam is thick. You guys seen these beams? That thing was standing up. That took a lot of strength to hold all that weight up. Then all of a sudden they just turned to dust, and you've seen the beams falling. So I'm like, okay, direct energy. And that was 2001. I'm like, they had some serious technology, which must mean Cern exists, because it's just I'm not saying they go hand in hand, but fuck, that's some. I don't ever want to compliment technology when it's like that, but that's killer technology. That's amazing stuff. So just to have direct energy and be able to use a weapon and not us even see it being used is incredible in itself. And I don't even mean to tip my hat to them, because they killed people, and that's a terrible thing. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm just like, wow. So here's how I'm going to tie. Here's the big part. Here's the fun part. Okay. I'm going to tie Cern in with 9/11 with Google Earth. Okay. Let me read the comments first. I gotta stretch. Holy cow. Let me read the comments. Hold on. I don't want to miss anybody's shout out or something. Hope everybody's keeping themselves entertained. Hello, Stella. Nice seeing you. Thank you for joining. Roberto Perez from DC. Thank you very much. Suru Kamura. Hello. Party puppy. Hello, sir. All right. Thermite. Wait, oh wait, we got some coordinations here. I gotta look that up. I gotta look it up. Hopefully those coordinates will work. Here, I'll look it up on Google Earth here. Boom. Okay, I don't know what I'm looking for here. If you could I'm not sure if this is the place you're trying to send me to. Let me turn off all the photos here. Is this the place you're trying to send me to? I don't think you are, man. I don't think that's the spot. Try and relink those coordinates again. I'll take a look at them. Hello, Rena. Bonjour. Thank you for joining. I'll try those coordinates again. One more time. All right, guys. Sorry for the dead air. I don't want to miss anybody's shout out there. Let's try that again. All right, man. It's bringing me to the same place. You have to be more specific, please. It's bringing me to London. All right. So let's continue on. How am I going to tie Cern in? Okay, guys, watch this. Okay. Watch this, guys. On Long Island, okay. Long Island is big. And you know what? Dude, I think we're about to talk about the same thing, actually. So basically, and hey, listen, again, there's so many videos out there, and you guys are super smart, right? And this is probably why you believe in Cern, or it just adds to it. It's another variable. So if you already know about this, my bad. My bad. But so here we go. Here we go. This is how we're going to tie in Cern with 9/11. Most of you might have seen this, but I just don't know. So we got the Twin Towers here, right? Zoom out. Go to Long Island. Right? Look at this place right here. You see this? Look what it's called. Relativistic Heavy Ion Collider. Okay? This is probably why I have never heard of Cern. Because they didn't call it Cern. They would build one of these and give it one of these names. Okay? That's a huge thing. That's a huge thing. I just want to remind everybody I'm not saying Cern did Mandela. That's not where I'm going with this. I'm talking about Cern existing. That's going to be a different video. But this is the RHIC Center. And when you look in the picture here, I'm like, okay, all right, gloves are off. They got these things everywhere. When Affected Collective put that video out of there being 30,000 Cerns, I laughed, and with ignorance. But now I'm like, damn. And I apologize to everybody. But the proof is in the pudding. I think that's how they say it, eh? But watch this. Watch this. This is what gets me. We're going to draw a line. Okay? Nice thick line. All right. I get rid of this. From this room here all the way to here. Okay? Give or take. We can move it around a bit. I don't know exactly where to point this puppy, but I'll point it right between the buildings, okay? Since that's where most of the damage is done. You remember that circle? Now watch what it does. It goes right through this building. I don't know how these things work. And when it goes right through that building, it lines up perfectly with ground zero. Okay? I don't know how things work. I don't know how to point that thing. But that's freaky. Not freaky in a bad way, but I'm like, man, that's too coincidental. I'm sorry. Dead north is Tesla Lab. I mean, I'll check that out later, but here, I'll leave that line there. To the right, it's part of the trait. Oh, okay. Yeah, but anyway, listen. I'll look into that part later. I'm only going to look into this, what I know about now, because I'll just have all kinds of dead air. But thank you very much for that. I'll definitely check into that. But look at that. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I don't know how to point this weapon, because people call it this a weapon, they call it a portal, they call it all kinds of things. I wonder what else these things are pointing at. And I drew a bunch of lines, but I don't know how far to go, and it's, I don't know. But again, that made me go, oh wow, okay, because this is like a mini Cern. How big is this? 0.6 miles wide. So I don't know. Here, let me read the comments for a sec. I'll just leave it here for a moment. See what else is around this area. Brookhaven National Laboratory. I don't know what these mean, by the way, guys. So, National Synchrotron Light Source. No, nothing fishy going on here. Look at this area. Look, a little mini Cern. Look, a bunch of little tiny alternating gradient synchrotron. I don't even know what this stuff means, guys. If you guys know what that means, look it up. Throw a comment in the section there. Well, that's pretty cool. And look at all this. And they're using solar power for energy. For free. They get it. They get it. Man, I never searched down here before. Interesting. Time is it? 9:30. Alright. Alright, let me read the comments for a moment. And I'll get right back to you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Whoa. La la la. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I should put music on. I keep saying that. Are there any Cerns in Canada? I don't know. If there were, I would say there'd probably be one near Ottawa or Toronto. You just have to look for a giant circle, right? They kind of stick out. Everything's square, everything's gritty, then all of a sudden I'll just check out Toronto and Ottawa a bit. I never even thought to think of that before. But I mean, if they're all over the world, why not Canada as well, you know? But this is Toronto for all our American friends. I don't see any. But I'll check that out, definitely. Give the whole place a quick scan. Sorry if I can't keep up with your comments, guys. I see Jay Holland trying to direct me, and I just can't keep up with the comments and navigate. Oh, shoot. Someone's texting me. I forgot to turn off. Hold on a sec. Alright, thanks for hanging in there, ladies and gentlemen. A day. So if they threw that out in the news nonchalantly, I'm just like, I wouldn't even know. Same with Cern, basically. But to everybody, I got a lot of feedback on that video I put out. I'm like, did we ever consider this? And a lot of people who worked in computers said the same thing, that I've never heard of Cern either. And I've been in computers for 30 years. Well, I'm like, well, did you hear of the LEP or anything like that, LHIC. There are so many abbreviations for these colliders, and maybe they just didn't say Cern. So I'm watching this video that she put out. It was brilliant. You know, it was well put together. And I'm seeing videos from the 80s of this machine being put together. And I'm like, oh no. Because, you know, I was a big believer on it not existing at all. And now I'm looking at all these videos and I'm like, how is this possible? Because I remember a year ago or a year and a bit ago, whatever, even less than a year ago, typing in Cern being built, videos of Cern, yada, yada, yada. And I couldn't find anything. But again, my researching skills are very minimal. But this lady did a great job, you know, amazing at finding all these videos, piecing it all together. And after I viewed it, I was like, oh my God, I really have to reconsider my position on Cern. Now, before I go any further, my position on, and I won't play the video, but it's here. And yeah, we all do need a break sometimes. Oh, and just to remind everybody that there's a huge delay between trade chat. There I go again. Between trade chat and me and you talking, so we're not going to have this fluent conversation going, so bear with me. But basically, she put out a video called Retrocausality on Cern 1980, and man, it made me really think about the technology we have in this world again. I've always had a problem with if I don't see it, it doesn't exist. This thing is underground. I've just always had this huge beef with Cern. I'm just like, man, all of a sudden it popped out of nowhere. All of a sudden there's a Cern. But here's the thing with Cern, is that it's always been called Cern, but they refer to it as LEP a lot, you know. LEP Cern. And this is the Large Electron Positron Collider. And, you know, that bothered me. Because I'm like, well, I definitely don't know enough about computers to know about Cern back in the day. I definitely don't know enough to know about what LEP meant back in the 2 weeks off, but during this 2 weeks, like, I don't really look for Mandela effects anymore. I think everybody has got the point that, yeah, things have changed, but I think we're all at a stalemate now, and I don't know. I'm noticing a trend in all the channels where we've all calmed down. But there was a video that came out not too long ago. It was by Affected Collective, and it was called Retrocausality Cern, and I said it in the video earlier.